Alright, let's do some UFC predictions here for UFC 123 with the bedhead. Gotta love the bedhead. Real fast with this, the prelims here. Nick Lentz versus Tyson Griffin. I'm sure it's listed as the curtain jerker, which is kind of weird because Tyson Griffin's a name. Griffin should have this probably by decision. I don't really like Griffin that much. I really wish he would have more exciting fights. Paul Kelly versus TJ O'Brien. Going with Paul Kelly. Little short arm beast is going to just drag O'Brien down and ground and pound him out. Ebson Barboza versus Mike Lulo. And I got to go with Barboza because of his name. It's just too awesome to ignore. Dennis Hallman versus Caro Parisian. Caro's back in the UFC after all that scandal. All that stress he was under. I'm going to go with Caro. I think this is a tune-up fight for him. I think they're trying to get him back into things. He could be rusty, though, and you can't sleep on Dennis. Dennis is really good, but I think Caro can get past him. We'll see. That's actually a real close one. Then we get to the Spike TV card, which is 2 fights. Mark Munez versus Aaron Simpson. I mean, that's almost like flip of a coin worthy. But I like Munez. I think the Filipinos need a good fighter like him in MMA to really grow the sport and stuff. And I think Aaron Simpson comes off as a little arrogant sometimes. So Matt Brown versus Brian Foster. Some people I heard were saying this is like the, you lose you're out kind of fight, where whoever loses this fight's out, and I'd hate to see Matt Brown out, so I'm going to pick him to win. It goes back to my argument is some people will never hold the title in their weight division, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to fight and have put on good fights. And people can watch their records and see them win, see them lose, and just have fun with their careers. It doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to do that in the UFC, where it's most televised. And they can always be, gatekeepers and whatever, and gauge people's different talents as they come through the promotion. Especially when they put up exciting fights like Matt Brown does. Matt Brown has exciting fights. Marcus Davis has exciting fights. Nick Diaz had exciting fights. All these guys had exciting fights, yeah. So I'd love to see them all be around, and of course they got rid of Nick Diaz. Main card, Maquel Falca versus Gerald Harris. I don't know why it's on the main card. I'm just going to pick Gerald Harris. Unless I don't know anything about the other guys. So I just know Gerald Harris can hold you down and grind you out and get a decision. So he'd probably do that. Tim Boetsch versus Phil Davis. You got Phil Davis. Tim Boetsch has been a disappointment ever since he just took David Heath and he judo Greco-Roman threw him into the cage head first from clinch. Ever since that, though, he's been, he's just been there. But Phil Davis is on the rise, and Phil Davis has a really muscular physique, but he has no traps. He has no traps at all. I think that's what it was. He was missing something. It was real weird looking at him in the weigh-ins and stuff. But Phil Davis got this. Joe Lozon versus George Saropoulos. I'm gonna go with George. I like Lozon, but I like George too. George is a really underdog guy. He doesn't really have like a real striking physique for fighting, but he has a physique, and he's a good fighter. He's well-rounded. He's pulled all these upsets. Hell, I'd like to see him fight. Get there into contender standings, fight for that belt. I'd like to see that. George is just on a roll. Matt Hughes versus BJ Penn. Man, this is one. It just, to me, this one's just so close. But to me, BJ Penn has all the tools in the world to beat Matt Hughes. That's what I think. But then he has problems. That's his problem too. Is he has problem putting together those tools to beat people that he should be able to beat. Matt Hughes, on the other hand, he always finds a way to win. Lately, he's been on a tear. Matt Hughes is coming off like 3 wins in a row, and BJ Penn's coming off 2 losses to the same guy. It's just, it's so hard to pick. You know, I want to pick Penn. Alright, I'm going to pick BJ Penn. I will. But after this, if he loses this, I really lose all faith in him on picking. You know, because I always just, I pick Penn all the way through those other fights with Edgar, and that really hurt me. So, I mean, I got to be more, I just can't go for him all the time when he's in these tough fights if he isn't going to deliver. And he's got to deliver here. I kind of like Matt Hughes' kind of recent run. I really wish he could still be going. So I hate picking against him here because, I mean, I wanted to see how far he can go. So, yeah. Then we got the main event. Quentin Rampage Jackson versus Lyoto Machida. I think everyone's pretty much summed it up like I have before. I've talked about this and how Machida, his game plan fits perfectly right into what Jackson does. Jackson isn't fast. He's powerful. He's sluggish. And Machida's just going to pick him apart. I'm guessing it's going to go to the decision. I don't know if you can finish Jackson, but Machida would probably, you know, pick him apart. Just pick him apart. I mean, Rashad Evans did it, and he was pretty much he was copying pretty much what Machida does. It was like Machida light out there. It makes him with some more takedowns. Machida doesn't really go for takedowns that much. So, you know, when you fight the real McCoy and your weakness is that style, I don't think Jackson has this at all. Unless, you know, he connects and Machida is, his chin's been weakened by the Shogun fights or whatever. But I think Machida's going to win it. And I do think that's kind of a shame too, because I don't really see, if this is #1 contender, I don't really see there just isn't a market yet for Shogun Machida 3 now. It's too soon. If he does have, you know, another shot to him, I'd like to see him get a couple of fights down the road. Maybe we have a new champion or something different, just not the same guys, you know, fighting over the belts. I don't know. That's just me, but maybe too soon if that is. I'd like to think he'd be another fight away. I'd like to see him fight the winner of Bones and Bader. So yeah, those are my predictions for UFC 123, Rampage versus Machida. That's actually a real good card. It's not the best, but it's real good. It's up there. And I mean, it doesn't always happen, but I mean, even the undercard is, I mean, that stuff, it's worthy of free fight cards. I mean, that'd be like the, you know, Dennis Hallman versus Cara would be like a main event and a free fight card. The Spike TV stuff's good. It's all around, it's a good card, so it's definitely worth checking out. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!